Greetings. Happy Women's History Month, everyone. It is your girl, Sabrina Lowry, affectionately known as the Tech Evangelist, bringing you another episode of Giving Entrepreneurs Expert Knowledge on the Geek Talk Show with yours truly and friends. And today we have a very special returning legacy guest of ours that has been doing the best in the market, doing those things in leadership, which I've always aspired to do on a national, global level. And I cannot wait to reintroduce her to some of you and introduce you to all. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring to the stage my featured guest after just a moment as we just talk a little bit about who I am and what I'm doing on these internet highways. So, my name is Sabrina, and I own a real estate and property management brokerage, Legacy Realty and Management LLC, where we do all things residential real estate sales, leasing, property management, project management, and we specialize in those short term rentals on platforms such as Airbnb, Furnish Finders, and you name it, direct to owner. So those private hosted properties with the FIFA World Cup coming up in just a few weeks here in Metro Atlanta. If you should need some assistance, I'm going to invite you to go on over to Legacy Realty and Management and follow us, and also check out our properties that we have available for sale. And if you should need a free consultation for some real estate services, I would be honored to be your realtor. So let's segue because we are kicking off Women's History Month, and proudly we are serving our women entrepreneur community. So I'd like to know where you're tuning in from. I would love to bring your comments live into the broadcast. And if you should want to pop in the conversation and chat it up with our guests, you are welcome to do so. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any more time. Let's bring to the stage Sylvia Reindock, a technology enthusiast who specializes in teaching business owners how to harness the power of real estate, technology, elevate all those things in business. Sylvia empowers entrepreneurs to maximize their tech tool chest, guiding them through practical hands on classes that simplify complex tools and strategies. Over 20 years of experience, ladies and gentlemen, as a real estate broker. Owner in the upstate New York metropolitan area. She has built her reputation on blending industry expertise with her passion for technology. So, Sylvia, why don't you tell the people what it is you do and who you do it for? Welcome to the Geek Talk.
Thank you, Sabrina. It's amazing to be here. I just love you so much. And thank you for inviting me, who I am, and what I do, and who I do it for. So, I am Sylvia Reindock, and I am, first of all, I'm a human being, of course. And I say I am a daughter of the King, our Father God. I am as she said, broker owner, realtor in this business for over 23 years, own my own brokerage, and I'm also a wife, a mother, grandmother. I'm a pastor, and I am a communicator. I am an instructor. Um, I I love to teach people. I love to help people in the field of buying and selling a property. I love to connect with people. I love God. I love people. And so I just want to be somebody who enjoys life and bring people with me as I enjoy life.
That's exceptional, Sylvia, especially in this climate of global frustration, chaos, you name all the negative adjectives. But what I love about you, and as I follow you across those social media platforms, is the positivity that you bring to your community. So let's go back. Let's go before Sylvia, the leader. Let's go back to what inspired you as you figured out that you needed to step up to the plate in leadership. What did your role look like before you came into leadership?
Well, before I came into leadership, I was a very shy and timid woman. I had low self esteem, didn't know who I was, and I believe I discovered who I was when I started being in a Toastmasters group. I did Toastmasters for about 2 years, maybe three, I can't remember. But that's where I discovered who Sylvia was. I had to learn how to speak in front of um, an audience. And, that's what Toastmaster teaches you if you've ever been a part of it. And before that, I had no inkling of ever seeing myself as a leader. And at one point during that time, God began to tell somebody to tell me I was a leader. And I said, no, I'm not a leader. And at one point, I did go ahead and accept the title from God. And then he put me in a position of leadership, leading other women in a ministry called Aglow International. It's a women's Christian ministry, and I am still involved in it today. I started in my 30s. I was a single mom, going through a divorce and a lot of other stuff. And God said, I want you to be a leader. And I'm like, well, I'm not even in a place to be a leader. But during that time, He taught me how to be a leader. But prior to that, I could never see myself as a leader. And I'm grateful for who I am today because of God and my relationship with Him. So that's who I was before I am who I am today. I was not a leader, consider myself any type of leader.
Isn't that amazing how it takes something that triggers that in us or someone to pull that out of us as our calling? So for me, it happened that way. It happened in my corporate IT job where it took for one of my customers on the other side of receiving the greatness from me to say, have you ever considered,
Hmm.
did you know that you should? Almost like giving permission to do something other than what it was I
Mhm.
thought I was meant to do. So, has that ever happened to you, Sylvia, in your leadership journey as you transition from one career pathway into another, where maybe it wasn't you that sought the leadership, but where someone actually invited you or called you out?
Um, I'm telling you, for me, it's really been a God thing where God has been pulling me into the place that I am now, in the rooms that I am in, and in positions of leadership. Has anyone? I do recall someone said, "Hey, I think you should go and attend this," and that did put me on a path to leadership by going and attending this conference. And that was probably about, I don't know, 2016, as far as being in leadership with my associations, and even stepping out and opening my own brokerage and having a number of agents. But I believe that was one time when someone says, I think you should go and attend this. And from there, that's where I believe I was on my journey to leadership
Yeah.
in this
And
area.
I also know that you use technology in a very unique way in your leadership. And that is how we were able to find each other. And this is before becoming a leader and using technology was a thing, Sylvia. And since our audience is coming from women entrepreneurs, that are maybe in traditional and non traditional roles, maybe give them a little tech tip for their tech tool chest on how they should go about that. whether it's on LinkedIn or any other newer platform that you might use these days?
Well, AI is definitely the game changer today. And what I say about AI, and people are, I've heard somebody else say it, but I discovered that AI gives me my time back. And just tech tools in general, you can use tech tools to give you your time back, to make things easier in your life, to streamline some things in your life. So whatever there is out there, I'm going to grab a hold of it. Google is a great platform to use all their tools. They have so many tools. I'll go and buy something or use something else, and then I'm like, Google does the same exact thing, and it's all encompassed. It has everything there that you need: your calendar, your tasks, your notes, your documents, your whatever you need. Google does have that, even though I go and I tap into other stuff. But tech tools are are there to help us manage our lives a little better and easier, and manage our profession or our work. And it's to give you your time back, to make your life easier, to set reminders for yourself, to copy and paste is a big thing that I do. I copy and paste because that saves time of retyping something over and over. That's a great tool, is copy and paste. But using whatever you have to keep you in a place where you can manage things in your life and in your profession. So I so embrace technology. Sometimes, it can be a real pain when it's finicky and doesn't want to work. But when it does work, it is a great tool to use to help you to manage your life, organize your life, and all, because you are involved in a lot of things. I am. And these tech tools really help us to stay on top of things that is going on in our lives. You're muted, girl. You're muted.
Thank you so much. Yes, I completely agree. And there it is, the technology evangelist needing the tech support. It happens to all the best of us. And I just want to take a moment and recognize those viewers that are with us, whether you are here in the live broadcast on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, a little behind the scenes action going on. And I also want to remind everyone that the replays will be available on your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and of course on YouTube. So I want you all to lean in and connect with our guest, Sylvia Reindock. I want you all to think about Women's History Month. And I want you now to think about one challenge that we may have overcome since this time last year, Sylvia. I remember us talking about the numerous things that were on our radar for us to do in our communities. So, why don't you share with the audience a little bit about what has transpired in your business or in your life in the past year, and how do you want us to celebrate with you this Women's History Month?
So, what has transpired in my life in the business? So, I own my own brokerage, Reindock Realty. I have owned it for, I believe, almost 8 years. I believe have an office I've had for 6 years, and based on where I am now in leadership, I'm the president for our local network, WCR, in Rochester, New York, and I was approached a couple of years ago by a company called Real Broker, and I said, "Hey, can I bring my company name with me? I don't know that I want to give that up." And they said yes. And it never happened for 2 years. And then last year in the fall, I was approached again, or I ran into this person, and I said, "Hey, can I still do that?" And they're like, "Yeah, you can still bring your brokerage over. It'd be powered by Real. You will be an associate broker under us, but I still do have my Reindock Realty." And so right now, I have moved Reindock Realty in a sense under this company, but I'm Reindock Realty powered by Real as as an associate broker, but I'm still broker owner, as I said, of Reindock Realty. So that is something that has happened in my life. And I believe the timing was right because of where I am in my life and all these things that I have going on, that this was the right time to do that, even though It could have been done 2 years ago. This was the time to do it. And just, I think it was a great move. It was a God move. And so that's new in my life. And I've been working on my memoir for a number of years. And I finally am ready to release it this year. And so I don't know if you saw my cover that I put up, and it's A Woman's Desire, discovering the freedom of how to be rightly loved. And so that is going to be released this year. So those are two new things that have happened in my life and my business that I'm excited about. I'm excited about being with Real Broker, and I'm excited about finally releasing my memoir.
Oh, congratulations, Sylvia. That is awesome. And thank you so much, Yolanda. I appreciate your support and kudos to you, Sylvia. We thank you so much, Jacqueline, for tuning in. And yes, we absolutely want to make sure that everyone is able to connect with our special guest, Sylvia, on LinkedIn. And if you are not watching, you are listening, you can just search. That is Sylvia, Sylvia. Last name Ryndock. And we thank you so much for tuning in. So let's shift the conversation and clip that, okay? Let's talk about that balance because of the number of leadership roles, Sylvia. Let's lean in. Let's tell the women how that work life balance actually works when we are those entrepreneurs that are leaders in multiple roles. Why don't you share some of your best practices and tips?
Well, my best practice is first thing in the morning, I get up and I have my quiet time. That is something I will never give up. It does take discipline on my part to get up as early as I do, and have that time with God, and time with God, and just in my Bible reading and reading other publications. It's just my quiet time. That's something that I practice, and I just can't give it up. It makes so much of a difference. Like during the day with all the things I have to do or things I have going on. I don't even know if there's really we can really balance everything out, but we can manage things, I guess you can say, by managing your time, because your time is a valuable asset. And so how do I do it? I think beginning my day like that helps me. Sometimes you do feel a little overwhelmed, but then I stop and say, wait, what is the top 3 things I need to get done today? That top 3, and I've heard other entrepreneurs and influencers use that, but I'll say P1, P2, P3. And if I get those 3 done that day, then I'm good. There are times when you have to get something done, of course, because there's a deadline, but I try not to let myself get overwhelmed. Even sometimes I feel it a little. I just stop and say, wait a minute. It's not the end of the world. This is really not an emergency, and it may not even be urgent. And so I just do what I know I need to do. And sometimes I think we can put more stress on ourselves by making everything urgent, and it's not. And so it's talking to yourself, say, wait a minute, and just stepping back and saying, you know what, that can wait, that can wait. That's not an emergency. And just balance it out, and just make it more manageable for you. Because if it's not the end of the world, that's what I'll say to myself, then everything's going to be all right. It's going to work out. And I know I need to get that done and that done and that done. And if you keep it at that top 3, everything else you get done that day is a bonus, because you've got those top 3 done.
I agree with that. And how do you utilize your tech tools in order to actually make that happen in reality? Or do you wear wearables? Are you using your smart technology? Are you using AI? Talk to the people, Sylvia. Come on now. Don't keep it all secretive. Let's make sure that the people get what they need from you today.
Okay. All right. So I mentioned earlier, I do copy and paste for a ton. Anything I can copy and paste. If I can copy and paste a phone number and paste it on my keypad area, that's what I do. I copy and paste. I set reminders in my phone. I have an Android. Yay for the Android users. And I use that. It comes with the phone. I use reminders. There's reminders on your phone. I can schedule my text messages. So there are times when I will go ahead and create that text message and schedule it for a later date or a later time. Because, I try to cut myself off from my phone at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock should be a good enough time to cut yourself off. But I'll use reminders. I'll use scheduling my text messages. And, with your emails, you can schedule your emails. And then with AI is even in your email, you can just write a email, draft the email, and tell AI to rewrite it and polish it up or make it more elaborate and professional. And as I said earlier, AI gives me my time back. And then when it comes to AI, which is Chat GPT, that's the one I use the most. I know there's a lot out there and continues to come on the scene, but that's my go-to. And say if I have something that I need to write. I mean, people say, "Well, you're not thinking." Well, I create the prompt. It's coming out of my mind. But what Chat GPT does, or AI, is it goes and it just makes it nice and pretty and beautiful and professional looking and all that. And there are times when I will even I'll drop a flyer in Chat GPT and say, "Hey, take this flyer and give me this from this flyer." And so technology, AI, those tools are there to help us to, again, give you your time back. And where you used to sit for hours and days doing something, use AI, use your technology tools, Google, use your reminders, use your draft a text. Even if you draft that text, if you don't have where you can schedule it, draft it so then you can send it the next day. And so I'll try to use every tool there is to help me to make my life easier with the things that I have to do.
Yes. And I love that. I am connecting with our audience. We've got comments coming in on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, and we appreciate this. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And congratulations are in order to you, Sylvia. Absolutely. Anytime someone is putting a pen to paper and releasing those memoirs, those books, I want to celebrate that. And so I want you at the end of the broadcast, be sure that you go back and check in with the audience by putting the links to those books and where we can support you and find the memoir once it hits the market. And so I also want to just segue our conversation. And let's think about the qualities in women. And so let me bring myself into the conversation. When you think about the conversation with women, and you think about how there are certain important qualities that women must have in order to succeed in industries like ours. What qualities would you say they should have? And do you have them?
Well, I like to say that first of all, I believe one of my strongest skills is I'm a communicator, and I really value professionalism. Being much, I mean, I say we're all grown people here, right? We're grown women, and so maturity is a big part of being in a professional setting. So maturity and professionalism, no matter how it goes. I mean, we're all human beings. We have feelings, and we women, we are more emotional, and but it's toning that down and say, you know what? I'm in a professional setting. I'm in a mature setting, a grown folk setting. Let me act like a grown folk because we can all not act like grown folks. And so I'm not about the games. I'm just like, I'm about keeping it real. Let's be transparent here. I know you don't have to tell all your business and all that, but let's just be grown people. Let's keep our big girl bloomers on. And when things don't go right, let's still try our best to be a professional and handle the situation professionally and maturely. And if you got your emotions, put them, wait till you get home or get in the car and just talk all the junk you want to about anything and everything. God, you can talk to God about it. He can take it. And so that's where I am. I mean, I've been on this earth for a long time. And so I'm just like, I'm in that place like, you know what? It, professionalism, maturity, Come on, y'all, let's do this. And let's be women. And let's make life, let's live our best life. Let's enjoy life and just reach for anything that you desire. I never could imagine that I will be who I am today. Never, I never would have imagined. But I thank God that I am who I am today. And I like me, I enjoy me, and I love me, but I like me.
Yeah.
I laugh at my own self sometimes, but I'll say, so yeah, I like Sylvia. And that's a
Yeah.
good place to be in your life because there were times when had low self-esteem. I didn't like Sylvia. I didn't think Sylvia was all that great. But I will say Sylvia is great. She's good. And I'm okay with saying that. And I'm not being vain. I'm just that's who I am and where I am. And I'm gonna enjoy being Sylvia because that's who God created. I'm enjoying being who God created me to be.
That's right. I love that so much. I'm going to pull some of the comments into the broadcast. And thank you so much, Yolanda and Pauline and Jacqueline. We see you. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here. Mark, we thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Geek Talk, where we give entrepreneurs expert knowledge. And our expert of the hour is none other than the fabulous Sylvia Rondock. So I am excited, super excited to have this conversation in celebration of Women's History Month. And so we're going to shift the conversation one more time and clip that because, as you all can see, I am wearing my crown. And I am wearing my crown tonight because it is Women's Her Story Month. And because we have stories to tell, I want to also be sure that you know why we show up on Tuesdays here on Geek Talk to give you all a little bit of these expert conversations. And so today, I really wanted to bring Sylvia back onto the platform because she's no stranger to our audience. We've been connected for years. We've shared our backstory about how we found one another. But Sylvia's being humble tonight, okay? Sylvia has done some amazing things in her community. And for the sake of women sharing their stories, Sylvia, would you please share with our audience your real estate leadership journey between 2025 and 2026? What it felt like to be a leader in your community, and what's that transition feeling like as you continue to evolve?
What does it feel like? So you said I'm being humble. As far as a leader in my community, I mean, I've been involved in my community for many, many years. I have a volunteer's heart. I love the volunteer and I love to give back to my community. So I started volunteering in my community back in the 90s. I was on the board of directors for a community center that they had in the next town. I volunteered to do taxes for the elderly for a number of years, about 9 years. And I've recently been on the board of directors for our Ontario Chamber of Commerce, which is a town that I live in. I ended my term there last year. I'm on the board of directors for our Webster Chamber of Commerce, which is the next town over. I'm on the Wayne County Business Council board of directors, which is the county that I live in. And that's my involvement in leadership in my communities. And I have been on the board of directors for our local real estate association, our state association, and then I'm a federal political coordinator for our National Association of Realtors. And so got my hands in a lot, but I'm able to do it. I guess what they say when God equips you to do what you do. And right now that's where I guess I am. This is a season. I say to people, this is a season that I'm in. And I am a proponent of knowing what season you're in. And I believe because this is the season I'm in, I'm able to do all that I do and still, take care, my husband and time with my family and all the other stuff I even do outside of what I've shared. And recently, I stepped into the role as president for the Women Council Realtors Rochester Network. And so I'm just grateful to God just for the time that I've had in my life to get to where I am today. And um, I'm Sylvia, and I wear a lot of hats and in a number of roles, but when it's all said and done, I'm still Sylvia, and that's what's important to me is to be who God created me to be and be Sylvia.
Yes, absolutely authentically Sylvia, the Sylvia that I've grown to love, like, and trust. And I absolutely appreciate and thank you for just being that leader. I watch you, I see the things that you do, I see those posts, I get the messages. And so when you have a community that actually loves you and supports you, they're showing up for you here just right now. I just want to put that up on the screen and let you feel that love right there. Thank you so much, Mark. I
Thank you.
appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, Latrina. Congratulations to you, Sylvia. The audience is there supporting you because there's not very many Black women in leadership in upstate New York, period, doing leadership business, right? And so when it comes up against you in that way, are you ever faced with those obstacles? And how do you overcome those challenges when there seems to not be a seat at the table?
So, we're human beings, right? And we have feelings. And so I don't ever discount anybody's feelings. And I have feelings. And as I said earlier, we as women, we are more emotional. And so when things happen where I'm getting opposition or there's obstacles or there are challenges, nobody wants to deal with challenges, but those challenges help us to build more character, right? And so, I might initially behind the scenes, I'm dealing with it, right? I'm dealing with my emotions and everything, and I'm talking to God about it. But then it's like I have to go to that place of, I got to handle this in a mature, professional way, right? And so no matter what it is, or the opposition is, or the challenge or the obstacle, for me, it comes to that place of, okay, Sylvia, okay, what's the best way to deal with this? What's the best way to handle this? And it always is maturity, it's always professionalism. And that's where I try to live. Again, I'm not perfect, I'm not making excuses for that. If I ever end up somewhat emotional, but I that's where I try to live from is being mature, and because I just don't have time for foolishness. It's just life is too short. I've gone through breast cancer. I have two children in heaven. It's just life is too short, and goal is to enjoy life, the life that I have left here on this earth. And nobody knows what that is for any of us. But my goal is to just enjoy life, to the fullness. And if there's something that's in my heart, that's pulling towards my heart to do it, then I'm going after it because I know
Absolutely.
that if it's in my heart, that I'll be able to do it. I believe I'll be able to do it because it's pulling towards that. And so that's where I am. And I will live my life like this until I'm out of that season, I guess you could say. Maybe I'll never be out of it, but
Absolutely, Sylvia. And I just want to bring this that God absolutely has your back. I've been through behind the scenes some of those journeys with you, through the trauma, through the grief, through the loss, and God's got you, sis. It's amazing to see how you thrive even in the challenging times. So kudos to you, right? And give yourself that celebration, those flowers that we seem to never get while we're alive, right? I tell
mhm,
my children, I said, I want my flowers above the grave. Don't bring them to the grave. I want to
mhm,
enjoy the smell of the roses while I'm here. So,
mhm.
this is an amazing, amazing conversation. And I thank our audience so much for tuning into another episode of Geek Talk. While we shift the conversation, just about the future, Sylvia. This is 2026. We are 6 years post pandemic. But it still feels like it sometimes, doesn't it, sis? Let's talk about what future plans might you have in store for the rest of 2026 that you want our audience to know about so that we can follow you.
Well, as I said earlier, definitely release my memoir. That has been years and years and years in the making. And God told me, he said, put the cover up. And I put it up on my social media platforms. And so that in the future, releasing that, getting just like I say, I moved my company under another company because I believe that there's going to be other doors that are going to be open. Um, open in my life where I won't have to be like having my company the way I had it before. And so that's freeing me up for some other doors that I see opening up. And so what's in the future for me, that memoir and being more focused on instructing with the tech tools, more on just, I have a channel that I created called Ladies Lifing because we be lifing, right? This life be lifing. And women, we are amazing. The things that we do, I mean, just the fact that we get pregnant, have babies, and then we do all this other stuff. And so we are amazing. So there's so much in my heart that ladies lifing. My goal is to grow that. I think I have 150 subscribers now. But my goal is to grow that channel. And I want to reach out to women in any way that I can, ways that we can relate as women. Or, I mean, I'm a woman, you're a woman, and we all go through things and deal with things, and we be lifing. And so, when I want to be able to bring content on that channel about women and the things that we go through and the things that we deal with. And there's so much with sisterhood when when just life is happening. And so that's one thing that I want to grow that channel, and I want to get that memoir out and just do whatever else that God has for me.
Oh, I love that, Sylvia. So, ladies and gentlemen, Sylvia Rondock, she is the fabulous productivity princess. She is a cancer survivor. She is a wife and a grandmother and a mother and a fantastic sister friend to me. And I am so grateful for you. I'm grateful for all that you stand for. I love it when you send me little prayers and little kudos, just little behind the scenes notes, just to say, I see you, sis. Keep on pushing, because sometimes it's just those little reminders from the people that you could least expect it from that will still keep you pressing forward. So I want you to know I'm giving you your flowers and your virtual applause right here. And I want my audience to stay connected with you. So, any closing remarks you might have, and let the people know how they can connect with you.
So, well, to women, this is Women History Month, and her story. And actually, I'm planning to. This is not a closing remark, but I just remember for Women History Month, I'm going to be sharing bits and pieces of my memoir, beginning March 8th, because that's Women History Day. And so, in closing, I would say be everything that God has purposed and planned for you to be in this earth, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do this or that. Because my mom said, her mother used to say, or her grandmother used to say, nothing beats a failure but a try. So don't I mean, at least try to do whatever is in your heart to do. And don't let anybody stop you from doing it. Do it, and do it afraid, as they say, with your heart beating real fast. Do it and just keep moving forward. Because I mean, the woman that I am today, and I thank God, if you just saw me back then, you would never imagine that that's who and I can't even, I can, but I'm just blown away with who I am today, all because of God in my life. I truly love God. I love people. I live my life according to the purposes and plans of God for my life. But be who God created you to be in this earth. Go after those things that God puts in your heart, because He's right there with you, helping you to walk into those things and through those things.
Amen, amen, and amen. That is exactly what we needed. And I really appreciate that message because there may be someone that's feeling a little bit low. I know in my mentoring session this morning, there were some ladies that were talking about the struggles they're having in their pivot season. And there's not just them. I have to let them know you are not alone because that's the worst thing is to feel like you are alone. It's
Mhm.
already a lonely enough at the top, as they say, right? That's where the pinnacle is, the peak. It's the smallest section because so few ever make it up there. You ever think about that visual, right? So you've got your line soldiers all in the base and the foundation holding you up. But until you get to the pinnacle and the peak, it's only enough room there for so few people.
Mhm.
So everybody can't go along for the journey, right?
Mhm.
You keep those that are necessary, and then you can continue to lift as you climb, but some will fall off along the way. So that's
Yes.
just my little bit of 2 cents in the
Thank
conversation.
you.
And so Jacqueline threw her little 2 cents in the conversation and said, just keep moving forward, one
Yes.
step at a time. I love
Yes.
that. I just love that so, so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Sylvia, this has been an amazing conversation for our Women's History Month kickoff. We have some amazing guests lined up for the rest of the month. So I cannot wait for you all to hear their stories while we all continue to uplift one another and give entrepreneurs the expert knowledge that they need. Sylvia, thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. This has been amazing. It's
Thank
always
you.
a privilege.
Always, Sabrina. Thank you. I appreciate you. Love you.
Love
God
you
bless you.
also. Ladies and gentlemen, Sylvia Reindock, we appreciate her for being with us this evening on another episode. And while I have your attention, I would like to give my sponsor a moment to get into the conversation and share with you all just a little bit of some things that we've got going on for you all. So, let's take a look at what we have. If you are interested in being a guest on Geek Talk, what you can do is scan that QR code and we can talk a little tech, we can talk a little business, we can talk a little real estate. But I want you all, I'm going to replay that one more time so you can get a sneak peek at what we are doing. I am looking for those guests to be on the Geek Talk podcast in the months of May and June. So there's a QR code there on the screen. If you're catching the replay, you'll just want to go to sabrinalowry.com so we can have you right here on the broadcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so this is another edition of Geek Talk. I want you all to know that I've got a very exciting event coming up March 21st in Towson, Maryland. We will be holding our Ladies in Tech and Friends book launch. And I want you all to make sure that you are there for it. And let's see if I can roll that video for you all. And you can learn more and get information at there it is, the QR code, Ladies in Tech and Friends, available now. Number one bestseller. We've got the book bundle available that you can order now. And if you are interested, be sure to contact me. I will autograph these for you. And be sure that you take a look at Legacy Realty and Management.com. Stay connected with yours truly, and we will just talk next. So this is to the conclusion of another episode of Geek Talk. I am yours truly, Sabrina Lowry. You can learn more about me, my products, and my services at sabrinalowry.com. thank you for tuning in. Next week, we have a very special guest. We will have Sean Shavis will be our guest next week. I cannot wait for you all to meet her. And so that will be Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I look forward to seeing you then. Make it a great day.